Absolutely ashamed of it.
It was, in his own words, a disaster. But the fate of Gordon Brown's premiership was arguably decided long before he ever met Gillian Duffy.
Everything. She's just a sort of bigoted woman. Said she used to be Labour.
Someone has just handed me the tape. Let's play it and see if we can hear it.
She'd never have put me with that woman. Whose idea was that?
No, I didn't see it.
It's Sue, I think.
3 years after he took over from Tony Blair as Prime Minister and still unelected, he has now signalled he will step down. The man who styled himself as the true heir to the Labour leadership and who was at the heart of the Labour government for 13 years has recognised that he is the biggest obstacle to a possible coalition with the Lib Dems, that this is the only chance to keep Labour in power. After losing nearly 100 seats in the general election and failing to convince voters that choosing the opposition was laden with risk, he will now be gone by the autumn. It all started so well. He took office in 2007, promising change.
And at all times, I will be strong in purpose, steadfast in will, resolute in action, in the service of what matters to the British people.
He was praised for his response to floods, the botched bomb attacks in London and Glasgow, and a foot-and-mouth outbreak, showing voters that he was a man of action, that he did have what it took to act as a leader of the nation. This initial honeymoon period prompted a thought among his closest advisers. What about an early general election in the autumn of 2007? But Gordon Brown dithered, and the first blow to his reputation as Prime Minister was struck.
I'll not be calling an election, and let me explain why. I have a vision for change in Britain, and I want to show people how in government we're implementing it.
Can you say, hand on heart, that the change in the opinion polls was not the trigger for your change of heart over the election?
Yes, I can, because I've told you the basis on which I made my decision.
There were elements of bad luck in his falling reputation. It wasn't his fault the Inland Revenue lost data discs, but the image of the accident-prone PM was born.
The House has noticed the Prime Minister's remarkable transformation in the last few weeks from Stalin to Mr. Bean.
And in truth, the unpicking of Gordon Brown's abolition of the 10p tax rate could not be blamed on anybody else.
Isn't it the case, Mr. Speaker, that the Labour Party have finally worked out that they've got a loser, not a leader?
By the summer of 2008, the first of what would be 4 attempted coups.
Well, we're not at war. Labour not are right here.
This time, David Miliband, the would-be Brutus.
No, I'm not campaigning for anything other than a successful Labour government.
If there was ever any hope of redemption, it was the banking crisis. He knew his history of the 1930s depression like no other politician of his generation. He saw the need for recapitalisation of the banks and preached it like crazy round the world. It all came to a head at the G20 summit in Docklands in April, when the world gathered round him. They didn't back a second fiscal stimulus, but there was enough unity to make the Prime Minister's team think it might be a mood changer. Gordon Brown, side by side with the world's political pin-up, President Obama. But there was another political banana skin around the corner. His aide Damien McBride's emails suggesting a smear campaign against leading Conservatives.
Well, I'm sorry about what happened. I've said all along that when I saw this first, I was horrified, I was shocked, and I was very angry indeed.
Gordon Brown's attempt to lay down the law over the expenses scandal, using YouTube to launch a plan to abolish the second home allowance, fell flat and cruelly exposed the Prime Minister's difficulties with the camera. And by now his character had become an issue. Was he a bully, even prone to violence?
Do you get angry with your staff? Do you swear at them? Do you throw things?
If I get angry, I get angry with myself.
Do you throw things?
No, I throw...
You've never thrown
the
anything?
Newspapers on the floor or something like that.
Have you ever hit anyone?
I have never hit anybody in my life.
All too late, of course, but yesterday the human side to Gordon Brown was shown when he arrived back at number 10 with his boys leaping around at his side. By now, though, he was being accused of squatting there, stubbornly, white-knuckled, refusing to let go. And today, that was no longer tenable.
The reason that we have a hung parliament is that no single party and no single leader was able to win the full support of the country. As leader of my party, I must accept that that is a judgment on me.
Gordon Brown had lost not only the confidence of the nation, but of his party. And he finally agreed he had to leave the office he'd desired for so long.